There's many IRS programs to help you to put your tax problem behind you. Offer and compromise, installment agreements, not collectible status, bankruptcy, and more. I've worked with a lot of taxpayers to put their tax problems behind them, but there's one single thread common to those who had a successful outcome, and that is they had the right mindset. Doesn't matter what programs are available, if you have stinking thinking, you're not going to get a fresh start with the IRS. There's 5 key components you need to have the right mindset. I'm going to share them now. The first thing that you need to do if you're going to put this thing behind you is accept total responsibility for your tax matter. Now look, I'm not trying to blame you, I'm not trying to shame you, but so many taxpayers look at the problem as being the IRS or unfair tax rules, the economy, their former boss, a business situation, even their ex-spouse. At the end of the day, if you don't take responsibility for your part in the matter, you'll never take control of fixing it, and there's things to be fixed. You can't control the circumstances in your life, but you can control the way that you respond to them, the decisions you make, the habits that are formed, the outcomes. And one of those outcomes, obviously, is now you're behind with the IRS. Maybe you have years unfiled. Maybe you have $10, $20, $50, $100,000 in taxes that are past due. The second component of having the right mindset to put your tax problem behind you is that you're going to do whatever it takes to get this thing done. You know, so many times people hire a tax attorney or an enrolled agent like myself, and they think they've thrown off the problem onto someone else's shoulders. Okay, now you deal with it. Well, we'll deal with the IRS for you, but you need to continue to stay engaged. First, you need to provide whatever documents are necessary in financial statements so that we can deal with the IRS on your behalf. But beyond that, do what else it takes. Take responsibility for starting to learn, how does the tax system work? How did you get into debt? How can you get out of debt? What's a good manner in which to manage your personal finances? Start reading, start seeking out information. Do whatever it takes so that you're going to change these things going forward. I'll give you a real practical example of how this is important. Many people get into an installment agreement with the IRS. Then later, they terminate or let the installment agreement end. How do they do that? Well, they don't look to the details of doing whatever it takes. You know, you not only agree to make payments on your back taxes when you have a monthly pay plan, you also agree that you're going to be current on this year's taxes, that you're going to have enough withheld from your check, or you're going to set aside enough from your 1099 payments, and you're going to make quarterly estimated payments. So next April, you don't land in another position where, again, you owe the IRS. So you have to do whatever it takes. You have to make the payments on the back taxes. You have to make estimated payments on the current taxes. You've got to work hard. It takes time. And so a lot of people start off strong for 6 or 8 months, but then 12 months into it, they start to flag on their habits and on their decisions. Don't do this. Do whatever it takes. The third component of a successful mindset is that you're going to take massive action to get this thing behind you. Now, massive action gets massive results. Minimal action generally gets minimal results. Now, I love it when you can take a little action and get a massive result. It happens sometimes. It's called a miracle. But you can't count on that. You really need to take massive action if you want to get massive results. I love what Chris Wark, the author and really an inspirational writer in terms of mindset, says about taking massive action. He says, you know, 100% is easy, 99% is hard. And when you think about it, that's really the case. If you're going at things 100%, you start to see the outcomes that you want. But if you only do part of what you need to be doing, it's really hard. Things don't quite come together. You're always missing a key component. So you really need to put all the force on all the time, take massive action. When you put 100% into it, you'll get 100% out. Just keep at it. Here's successful component number 4 when it comes to a great mindset, and that is make plans for the future. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, why make plans? I don't know what my future looks like. You know, I don't make resolutions. I never keep them. Well, the reality is if you start to make plans for the future, you start to get a better understanding of why you want to put this tax debt behind you. It becomes a motivator. You start to evaluate and put down on paper where you'd like to see yourself and your family in a year or 3 years or 5 years. And that stokes the fire to keep you motivated. Much in the same way Simon Sinek wrote years ago, you need to discover your why. Why are you doing this? Why, after all these years of dealing or not dealing with a tax problem, are you now wanting to put it behind you? Well, if you have plans and you write them down, you'll start to have a vision for the future which will motivate you and see you through. The fifth and final component of a successful mindset is to enjoy your life and enjoy the process. You know, there's a lot of things I'd rather have problems with in life than an IRS problem. I'm sure you feel the same way. But now that you're in it, put it to work to make yourself a better person. Use it to become better. And don't just think about the things that you should have done or could have done. Stop thinking about the past. Start thinking about what you can do now. Stop fearing what might happen, or what will the IRS do to me, or what will happen to my money. Will they levy my bank account? What if I don't keep this agreement? Think about what you can do. And have an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for where you are. Hey, you're in a position where now you're starting to move in the right direction. Good for you. Just keep moving. So many times in the Bible you see the words, do not be afraid. Do not let your heart be troubled. And that's really the story, is if you just live in the moment, do what you can, and trust the rest to the Lord and to the process, you'll see a successful outcome. You know, I think one of the worst things that ever happened in my life was when I fell behind with the IRS. But I also know God used it for good, because I became a more disciplined person. I became more wise. I started to seek counsel in others and stop relying so much on myself, which was a large part of the problem. I started to seek wisdom from God, and really, that is really what you need. You need skillful and godly wisdom to get through this, and the understanding to put that wisdom into implementation so that you can put this tax problem behind you. So that's my say in this whole thing. I've helped a lot of people achieve successful outcomes, but all of those people had to have the right mindset to see through to the end. They took massive action. They did whatever it needed to be done. They took responsibility for where they were in their tax problem. They started to make plans for the future, and they enjoyed life and started to enjoy the process to personally develop and become better. And as they became better, their life became better. And they got a fresh start, and they put their tax problem behind them in the process. I'm Jim Floss. I hope you found this information helpful. If you have a tax question or a problem with the IRS you need help dealing with, please contact me through the link in the message in the subject matter below. Also, if you would smash the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time.